Hey folks, welcome back to your new Boom Beach video. Today I'm here, this is not my account, I was just checking out the top player. I'm here on my level 75 account. It's interesting though that the top player is no longer from China, which means it's looking pretty certain that the China's rest of the world server split is real, because a lot of the Chinese players on the leaderboard are not on it anymore. Some of them dropped. And none of them have critter launchers, which are the new defense, so it makes it seem like they're running on two different servers. Today guys, same thing, we're gonna try to get some critter launchers upgraded. We're gonna upgrade my hero, oh, not my hero, we're gonna upgrade Laser Ranger, and we'll just get closer to getting maxed out. It is a grind. I am pushing really hard. I really want a maxed out critter launcher, and I'll make a video once I get there. Because it's a big feat. It's expensive, it's a very solid, and I want to train up warriors. This is not off to a good start, but it's a very solid defense. It's a very expensive to upgrade, and it's taking a while. So I'm hoping though that within the next 2 weeks I'll have it maxed out. I think Jimmy and I will probably take somewhat of a little hiatus around Thanksgiving time, just because it's Thanksgiving time. So hopefully I can get some upgrades done off camera. But really, it's every 2 days I need to boost up and clear my map to get that big upgrade done. So every 2 days I do one upgrade, and I have 4 more levels left. I'm at level 12 and I have to get to level 16. So it takes a while. It's not cheap. Alright, level 74 though is about to go down. It is nice and comforting seeing the top level players, literally the players on the leaderboard, not having maxed out critter launchers already. Goes to show you that they don't just gym up stuff. I'm sure there's someone out there that did, maybe on the Chinese leaderboards. Where people actually care a lot more. We'll see. It is nice that we're not competing against them, because there's a lot of collusion that happens that high, and I'm sure these other countries that are getting on the leaderboard will start colluding, but at the moment, actually I have no clue. I don't know if they're colluding or not right now. I know that the Chinese leaderboard colludes, and they'll literally just like target. Apparently, and this is what I heard, so take this with a grain of salt, they have like a system where if you're not in this little group, everyone will just attack you and make you drop like hundreds of medals. But if you're in the group and you get your time on the leaderboard, I think like everyone gets like a slot or something like that. It's weird, but I'm glad that it split, because there were a lot of cheaters on the leaderboard, and they've actually done numerous bans on Chinese leaderboard players because it's such a mess. Anyway, I don't know a ton about it, so I should probably stop talking about it. So here we go. I'm on my level 75 account. Again, still pushing for the critter launcher. Let's actually check the tribes. I think the tribes, no, 2 days. I'm really hoping for a resource reward tribe or something that will get me more loot, because right now loot is really hard to come by. And honestly, none of these players that are coming on my map have any loot, which is not a good look. That means that the loot is at a deficit or something. Alright, we'll do this, and then we'll do this. Then we'll flare back here, and I'm hoping I can avoid all those shock mines, but we're gonna see. We'll see if my troops split weird. So I think they'll go under. Yeah, they'll go under, and we should be fine. So careful where you place your shock mines, because they might not actually be doing anything for you. As you can see here, I just avoided all of this guy's shock mines, and we're at the core. No losses, and we'll get a med kit out. We'll activate my hero, and I'm just gonna sit here and shock the shock launchers and some of these splash buildings around the core. I've done videos on what you should shock with warriors, but really it's simple. First, shock the shock launchers. Honestly, you probably should shock like a microwave or hot pot first, because those will wipe out your troops. Shock launchers and those 2 prototypes, and then you want to shock the machine guns, flamethrowers around the core. Those things are bad if they're very clumped up. Alright, let's find a new opponent. He barely had any loot. Hopefully this guy has more. This person has less. I don't know what's happening. Today is an off day. I still think I have that one player on my map though that has that will give me over 1 million of each loot. So I'll try to attack that player today to get something going, because otherwise I don't even think I would have enough loot to upgrade my critter launcher. It's hard. Like, everyone I've attacked so far has had like 80,000 loot, which is really, really low. And I'm actually kind of worried why it's so low, because usually, again, it's usually over 100,000, maybe close to like 150,000 average. That's without my resource reward boost. My resource reward boost is saving me a little bit, but honestly it's not much, and that should go to show you just how good resource reward is. And I can attack him today. Look at that. So 480,000 of each loot, and it's all going to be mine in a few minutes. I can't wait. This is exactly what we like to see, and these are the type of players that we're looking for. These little white whales that have a ton of loot. And you might say, Christian, 400,000 loot is not that much. 400,000 loot without the resource reward is a lot. And if you factor on like 150% resource reward, which is what I have, that's gonna shoot way up, and that's gonna get me over the 1 million mark of each, which is insane, but not even close to the record, which I hold the record. Okay, Strop Man goes down, and if you're wondering what the record is, I think it's like 13 million combined loot, or maybe it's 8 million. It's something like that. Oh, I didn't even look at the loot. Let's look at it quick. There we go. Look at that. So that's 5 million of each, not of each, 5 million total. I love that. That is exactly what I want to see. Imitation Game always gives a lot of loot as well, so I'm kind of surprised not a lot of people on my map here have a lot of loot. Okay, we'll get some barrages out, we'll take down the mines, get my troops out. I was reading Reddit, and some people were talking about the critter launchers, and I have to agree. I forget the conversation that was happening, like who it was by, but a lot of people were saying the critter launchers are probably a bit overpowered, and that Boom Beach doesn't really fear bringing out an overpowered defense, because defenses are hurting so badly. And I think there's a couple issues with this line of reasoning, but I think overall I kind of agree with it. Some issues I have with this is we don't really know the impact of maxed out critter launchers. Nobody has maxed out critter launchers. I think people are worried once we get there, because they'll have a ton of HP, people won't be able to BART them down, and they'll just destroy troop combinations. And I agreed with this point they had mentioned, which was it really only targets very specific troops, which are slow shooting troops like the bombardier, like the cannon. I think those are really the two major ones. Those are very overpowered troop combinations, but troop combinations besides those, that like warriors, are still really overpowered, and critter launchers do nothing against warriors. So it targets very specific troop combinations really, really heavily. And that's another point I want to make. It's really heavily targeting them, because it really changes the dynamic of your fight. With maxed out critter launchers, we don't know the impact. However, even with low level critter launchers, it's really hard to attack with all tanks or with bombardiers. Like, you'll get stuck up. You have to shock the critter launcher. It's gonna get really, really hard for those leaderboard players that have been using bombardiers. And it's making combinations like all Scorchers, like Smoky Warriors, probably Smoky Hookah or Smoky AZ, Smoky combinations really, really strong. And that's one thing I'm not really a fan of, when they target certain troop combinations. But if you think about it, that's kind of the beauty of Boom Beach. You can't really make a defense or bring out a singular defense that's gonna target everything. And they're all gonna target very specific things. Like flamethrowers aren't gonna hurt tanks, but they really do hurt warriors. So there are gonna be defenses that target troop combinations differently, because every troop combination uses different troops that have different attributes. But I think overall, by targeting tanks, you're kind of making them obsolete. Like, I could see tanks going away completely because they're just so weak against the critter launchers. which is kind of scary because we're losing a troop combination that was thought to be super strong until this defense came out. I'm a little worried what will happen with the bombardiers, because bombardiers are a troop combination I love using bombardiers. I think bombardiers are super strong troops to use, especially at a high level. And without them, I'm gonna have to go back to using warriors, and warriors are good, they're fun, but they're weak at a super high level. There's another reason I disagreed though, and I'm trying to remember. So one, we don't really know the impact of the critter launchers. And two, I think people will just adapt and learn how to defeat them like we've done. You attack way more than you defend in Boom Beach. So you know exactly how to attack bases that are built a little bit differently or built to target a certain troop. So I'm a maxed out player and I'm not on the leaderboard, so I don't really care if I need to use the right combination to beat a certain base. I mean, there are a few examples that I just can't defeat a base with warriors and I have to use heavies and bombardiers. But for the majority of bases, I would say I kind of just always use warriors because it's just so quick. I think it's gonna change slightly where we're gonna have to use troop combinations that defeat very specific bases, and I think that's gonna make the game a lot better because it just makes it more unique, adding more variety, making sure you can't clear your whole map on one singular troop combination. I think it's going to make it more fun. So that's one more point I disagree with. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on the critter launcher. That's more like in-depth analysis. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like. I'm going to stop here, but first, let's do an upgrade. So critter launcher going to level 13, we'll take it. Critter launcher going to level 3, we'll take it. And I can also upgrade my laser ranger to level 7 out of 12. So we're getting close there. We're getting close everywhere. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like if you did. And I will talk to you next time. This is pretty good. I'm probably going to drop this down because I'm just going to store it for now, but I'm probably going to drop it down because I really want to have more resources. But I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.